Welcome back to another episode of The Hawk's Edge. Here is where we explore the ideas, innovations, and the people shaping the future of higher education. Starting a new semester is exciting, but it can also feel a bit overwhelming. New students, new schedules, and sometimes even new technology. And while digital and innovation play an important role in the classroom, the experience you as instructors have before the semester begins can make all the difference. Having the right support from day one can build your confidence, save you lots of valuable time, and set the stage for a successful term. Welcome to the Hawk's Edge, where we explore insightful conversations on teaching, technology, and transformation in higher education. I'm your host, Valerie Kramer Bahl, and in each episode, we bring you real voices, real challenges, and real innovation that is shaping the future of learning. We are kicking off August with a back-to-school series where you will hear a lot of behind the scenes at Hawk's Learning. And today we are joined by one of our customer success representatives at Hawk's Learning, Joshua Rowan, and he partners directly with instructors to help you get up and running with confidence. Welcome, Josh. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hi, Valerie. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's start out by you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I've worked in education for something close to forever at this point. Before I was a teacher, I was a performer. I used to tour schools performing Shakespeare and leading workshops. Skip forward a bit. I was a classroom teacher here in San Antonio, Texas for about 12 years. I taught a little bit of everything, 4th and 5th grade generalist. Then I taught middle school theater, then finally middle school math. Now I'm a customer success specialist here at Hawk's. And I love it because I still get to work with teachers and I still get to make an impact on students. And it's kind of a funny fit because the whole time I was teaching, I was also that guy that the other teachers came to when the tech got overwhelming. They knew that they could stop by Rowan's room and I'd get them sorted.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And we are so lucky at Hawk's to have you. So starting with the basics, when people hear customer success, they might think it's just answering questions. Someone has an issue, you're troubleshooting it, but your role really goes far beyond that. So what does customer success really mean to you and mean at Hawk's? And what does it look like here at Hawk's?
Sure. Yes. I would say that the key word is actually success. Every course is different and the needs of every class are different. My job is to understand those needs so that our courseware adjusts to the instructor and the class, not the other way around. And the way I do that, well, really honestly, the way everyone here at Hawk's does that is by listening. Training is part of what we do in customer success. But before we ever get into the technical how-tos, we want to know about two big things. One, tell me about your course. What kind of course is it? How long is it? What's your approach? What are your goals? Where do you or your students struggle? And then the next big thing is why Hawk's? What brought you to us? Was it the mastery approach or a need for individualized support, something easier to collaborate on with your colleagues? Once I know those two big things, whether it's one instructor or a whole department, I can make Hawk's fit their course and their agenda rather than handing them a cookie cutter setup. I operate from the point of view that the instructor is the expert. My job is to make our courseware fit their structure so that learning is as seamless as possible. That effort to make this fit, it puts them in a better position for success.
Absolutely. Oh, and what an advantage you having teaching background and knowing and giving instructors that control too. You probably knew that as an instructor yourself.
There's a lot of empathy. Yes, when we're sitting in the meetings and it's kind of cool. There's a lot of us here at Hawk's who are former teachers. So I think that kind of like diffuses throughout the culture of understanding what it's like to the additional demands aside from just teaching a course.
Yes. Well, and also just being passionate about education in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's great. Well, it sounds like, okay, so the onboarding isn't just about learning the platform, as you said. So before even the technology is into play, it's about maybe building confidence a little bit for both the instructors and the students. And at Hawk's, one thing I love is we really do focus on the student. So how do we help instructors get the students onboarded. So they're teaching less technology and more of their content. And because we already know that they have enough on their plate teaching
Right?
what they already know.
Yes. I'm so happy you asked because I'm a former teacher. I'm passionate that the students using Hawks actually succeed. And so we do so many things here. First of all, this fall, first day of class, I and a lot of my colleagues will be on campus working with students directly just to make sure that the setup is seamless and that they know how to access the courseware and how to use the platform. Second, we hold virtual training sessions for students and we give our instructors videos and instructions that they can share with their students from their course LMS. And our support team is available to students just like they are for our instructors, which is a real point of pride for us. And that's how we're making sure that we're available for all of our students at every single campus that's using Hawks. And then third, and I'm really excited about this one, this fall, we're rolling out our new student onboarding quiz right inside the platform with a training video built into the quiz. So students can watch and answer as they go. They can rewind and rewatch as many times as they need while they're working through it. And it's just going to walk them through how to use Hawks, how this is going to help them succeed. And it reinforces our best practices to make sure that they are onboarded, not just with features, but features that they know how to use and take advantage of so that they can really have one of their most successful semesters ever. And another reason why I'm so excited about it is for our instructors. We got to think about what we all ask our instructors to do. Teach the thing you're an expert in. Also teach this technology. Oh, and can you teach the procedures? And can we just add like a million other little things to your plate that you just squeeze in through the day?
Not AI on top of that.
Right. Yeah. Just let them know how the world is changing. No big deal. Just squeeze it in whenever you can. Yeah. Instead of spending that valuable class time teaching things that aren't their course, we can teach the technology to the students for them. Now they get that class time back, but they also have that confidence that we'll teach the students how to use Hawks, and our instructors can get straight to teaching their course. And by the way, that whole feature came directly from feedback that I got from instructors. So it was really cool to see something that came from our instructors over to us and is now being rolled out to everybody.
Yes, I love that because our second part of our series, our back to school podcast series, is talking to our chief product officer who's going to talk to us about how we can implement things that we're hearing from instructors and students. So that's a great proof point right there. That's wonderful. I also love the accountability of this quiz. So not only are instructors confident, they truly know their students did it. And by tying a score with that, then they're doing it. It really makes sure that they're doing it.
Absolutely. And we just know this is true. There's going to be the student who says, I didn't know that this was how to turn in the homework. And you're able to be like, you didn't because you took this quiz that said you did at the very beginning of the class. So yeah, it's nice to have those little tools in place, both for just helping our students succeed, but also that accountability and room for accountable talk with instructors.
Right. Makes them comfortable using the technology. So for instructors, what does a typical onboarding journey look like for them?
Every school gets a dedicated customer success specialist like me. And once we've had that conversation about goals and structure, we onboard with those goals in mind. So we start with a review of the student experience, and I'm going to remind them and show them how mastery learning actually works inside of our courseware and how much control they have over the student experience through their course settings. Then, and this is the part that I love, our onboarding is a live section build. We are building out a real section together so that by the end of the session, the instructor has something that they can use immediately. There's two reasons for that. One, instructors are busy. I don't want to train someone on just like this theoretical course and then turn around and ask them to do the whole thing again alone in their spare time. No. Two, building the real thing forces a real conversation about all those choices that they have. The automated reminders, the late penalties, giving students a second chance through Flex Mastery. This makes the onboarding also the tailoring. And they tell me the way they want it to go. And we build it that way.
So good. So good. Your role is so important in the success of all of all of our customers. And we know that first impressions matter. And so we're almost to back to school or start of the semester. And why is it so important for them to feel supported at this point before classes even begin? Do you have maybe a story or an instructor who started the semester feeling overwhelmed and maybe ended up feeling really confident?
Yes, I do. More than one if you need. But with this one, I do have a particular instructor in mind. Her department was piloting Hawks, and she was voluntold that she was going to be on the team using us. Val, we met for hours that summer, one-on-one, over Zoom, all summer long. She had all the questions. Will this sync to my LMS? Yes. Will you help me sync it? Yes. How do I get support when something breaks? Message me or call our support line. But what if it's 2 a.m. and I have to fix a test that's going to go live later that day? Our chat is 24 hours a day with a real person on the other side. What if I don't want to do everything online? You can print our assignments. She had a lot of questions and just normal fear of doing something new. And here's the same thing. I've had that same fear. I've stood at the front of the room counting on some new tech tool to work, and I have felt the joy when it comes together, and I have felt the nervous sweat that when you click the button and nothing happens. So I was glad to do those calls with her because those nerves that she had them because she cares about her course and she cares about her students. And so it was so cool to just watch her start to take over the meetings over the course of the term. And it went from me training her to her just hopping on a quick call to confirm she could do something while I watched or confirm that this was going to work the way she thought it was. And then by the next term, we weren't even hopping on calls. She was just emailing me to double check her own work. All of that effort that she put forth and all of those questions she asked, she's still reaping all those hours in return now because now she knows her course inside and out. And she might make some tweaks here and there. But now with our tools to just copy sections from one term to the next, move due dates in bulk, she gets all those hours back and then some. And she's a bona fide expert in the courseware now. And her students rave about how much more Hawks has helped them than other platforms.
Oh, that's so great. That's
It is,
awesome.
right?
How many years has that instructor been using Hawks now? How long ago?
Well, how many years have I been at Hawks? Because we learned a lot about Hawks together. So this is my 3rd year. So this is her 3rd year going into the fall using Hawks. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And you're there every step of the way.
It was really cool.
That's awesome. So at Hawks, we often talk, switching back to the student, we talk about meeting students where they are. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, listening to you, it sounds like the same philosophy applies to our instructors. Yeah. So can you tell us how your team creates an experience that's really personalized and tailored to each instructor's needs?
Absolutely. So first of all, that course conversation that I mentioned, that's going to tell me what to build. But there's a second read that I'm kind of doing the whole time, which is what does this person want from me? Because some instructors do want a true partner. They want someone who will meet monthly with them, talk through every setting, think out loud, let's work this together. And other instructors, they want me to be fast. Get them set up, get out of their way, and be there when they need me. The thing is, both of those are the correct answer. Part of personalizing is figuring out the needs of the person I'm working with and respecting it. So the other part of that too is that this isn't a one-time event with Hawks. I'm the same person they're talking to the next term and the term after that. So I remember what we set up and why. And when they call me in October, I'm not starting from scratch. I already know their course and they know that I know their course. So this is a real relationship. And with the whole department, in that scenario, I can start to connect people. If one instructor solves something, doing something clever, I can just carry that down the hall to a colleague wrestling with the same issue. You can only do that if you have an actual relationship with your instructors and with the school, not if you just run a training and disappear.
Yes. Well, and that makes perfect sense because every instructor brings a different level of experience, different teaching styles that you have to learn and understand. And as you've mentioned several times, their goal. So the end is the same and the destination is the same, but the path might look a little different. But you talked about one story of where that frustration turned into success. So a memorable success story about how you helped another instructor feel confident using Hawks?
Oh, yes. I've got plenty. But probably maybe my favorite is I had an instructor in an absolute emergency. He woke up one morning to an email saying that he was going to be teaching stats. It was Thursday. Class started Monday. He had no materials. So this was like onboarding is triage. I asked him my usual question, why us? He told me that it was because instructors he knew and respected taught the course with Hawks, and because he heard we were the only ones who would actually sit down and get him ready in a day. And
Oh,
that part always sticks with me because it was our reputation for service as the reason he picked us. And that's exactly what we did. We got together, we got everything ready on that Friday for the start of term. And then we kept meeting across the rest of the semester. He's still with us. He's adopted Hawks for more of his courses since then. And every time I visit his campus, he walks me around and introduces me to everyone. I love that guy.
you saved his course, and that's so fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really the relationship, and it goes beyond just the onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we have a partnership throughout the semester. Like you said, they have access to a person they know and trust that knows their course. And that's pretty valuable.
It's really special when it happens. And it's probably the most cherished part of my role is the relationships
Yes.
I build with our instructors. Yeah.
So what are some of the best practices you use when you help them get onboarded and even beyond the onboarding to help them achieve their goals?
I'm sort of like beyond start of term. We're continuing to partner and well, that's really great because that's part of the value of having a relationship is I can reach out and offer some tips and tricks and not overwhelm my instructors with like, here's everything about Hawks, learn it today in 35 minutes and never see me again. Instead, we can focus at these different segment times for just-in-time wins for our instructors. Let's just make sure to get the start of term ready, and then let's carry on the conversation over the term. And so to that end, our reports are the thing that I like to focus on once term is started. And we use those to navigate our conversations for the rest of the term. Because once the students are completing assignments, I like to check in and make sure that our instructors are taking advantage of our reports. And just for one example, assignment reviewer all by itself is just incredible. It gives you this bird's eye view of how the class is doing as a whole, how they're interacting with the platform, how much time they're spending with AI Tutor, how much time they're spending in practice, as well as certify, and which lessons and individual concepts they're getting and which ones they're struggling with. And from there, you can drill down student by student, question by question. It's such a great tool. And obviously, it's great for reflecting after an exam. But my favorite use case is this. I'm a teacher. I'm in the middle of a hectic day, nonstop. And class is about to start. And I know that last lesson that I taught had topics where if my students didn't really get it, today is just going to leave them further behind. With assignment reviewer, I can hop on and in under 5 minutes, identify exactly what they struggled with. I can project the actual question right up on the screen in class or screen share it if my course is online and dig into that tricky concept before we move on to today's lesson. For example, you know that moment where you're in the class and you say, hey, did anyone have any questions? And literally no one raises their hand. And you know they should have questions. Well, this assignment reviewer is the answer to that. You can just let assignment reviewer raise its hand for the class, and sharing tips and tricks like that. It makes meeting with instructors across the term exciting. I learn what's working. I get to carry it to the next department, and they point out to me what we can do better. A lot of the tools that we talked about today exist because instructors told us that they need.
Wow. Well, I feel so proud to be a part of Hawks, and you're making such a difference. And I know that makes you very proud too. And that's what it's all about.
I love it being here. Yep.
So imagine an instructor who's considering maybe using Hawks for the first time, or any new technology for that matter. Maybe they're just adding in AI tutor or overwhelmed by AI. They're excited, but maybe a little nervous about starting something new. What would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
You know, I started teaching right as technology was elbowing its way into every part of the classroom, and it was intimidating. I'm an arts guy, Val. I want to draw pictures and put on a performance of the life cycle of a plant cell. I didn't come into the classroom to be a tech person at all, but here I am trying something new, learning something new. It's one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. And if it motivates you, it's also one of the best examples that you can set for your students. What's different about Hawks and our success team is that here you don't have to learn it alone. It's worth saying, by the way, that embracing technology in one part of your teaching doesn't mean just dropping everything you did before. This is another tool. And if you're using Hawks as one of your tools, we might take enough off of your plate that you find more time for the fun stuff, like performing the life cycle of a plant cell or doing an interpretive dance of the Pythagorean theorem, anything like that, just to make your class more personable. It's amazing what can happen if you take the time to invest in some self-learning, what you're able to do with that later on down the road.
Oh, for sure. And I love that, just the integration of some technology and again, giving instructors that control. And technology isn't something you can really get away from, as we know. So embracing it and having the support you need is what it's all about. So let's wrap up with a fun little lightning round. What is the most rewarding part of your job, Josh?
Meeting my instructors in person.
Yes. What's one misconception instructors have about adopting a new technology?
It'll take too much time. It's literally the opposite. This is the thing that will give you time back.
Yes. And how about what's something you have learned from instructors that has really stuck with you?
Best ones ask the most questions.
Excellent. And that goes for students too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And me, I try to apply that lesson to myself in my work.
Yes. Oh, agreed. Agreed. That's the way we can learn. Well, one of my biggest takeaways from today is that successful implementation, it really isn't about learning the new technology. It's about having the right people beside you every step of the way. And at Hawks, onboarding isn't just checking boxes. It's really about building confidence and creating partnerships and with students and instructors and helping you all feel prepared before the first student ever logs in. So thank you so much, Josh, for being here and giving us a behind the scenes look at the people who help make that success happen every day. I'm so glad you're here. And for everyone who's been here, thank you for listening to another episode of The Hawks Edge. Stay tuned for another episode this month with another behind the scenes look of product creation in this short but informative back to school series. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to learn more about how Hawks Learning supports instructors like you from day one and every day after, visit our website or connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep pushing the edge of what's possible in education.
This episode was hosted, produced, and recorded by Valerie Bahl. Editing and sound design by Liz Four. Music by Ryan Hannafin. Logo design by Caitlin Neville. Our guest today was Joshua Rowan, Customer Success Specialist at Hawks Learning. This podcast is presented by Hawks Learning. Be sure to follow us and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.